Hello everybody, it's Claire with the start of the December challenge. So what I'm going to do is film these and pop them onto my YouTube channel and then release them for you guys to watch as and when. So this is a December challenge that I'm running over on my social media. Lots of my art journal lovers have made their own little journals. They're gorgeous. And I just thought I'd share this. It's a no pressure, no stress little challenge, just having a bit of fun creating. So I found this gorgeous little download of this lovely little girl, and she's going to look up, and I'm going to do warm colours in the background and have some dangly baubles, I think, hanging down. This is what I'm thinking at the minute. So I'm going to stick her in and then get some paint colours going on here. So this is the little journal that I made for this challenge, and I know there's a lot of December challenges out there. My little community over on Art Journal Lovers, we just thought it would be a really nice thing to do. So it's not a stress or a pressure. It's just a kind of if you fancy it sort of thing. I'm thinking I might start off with some watercolours. So I know you're all going to say, where are these watercolours from? This is a complete mix of all sorts of brands, from Winsor & Newton, Jane Davenport, some Jane Davenports here. Trying to think who else. Paul Rubens. Some of these ones are Paul Rubens. There's a bit of a mix, but I think watercolours are a very personal thing, and you just have to find the ones that you really like. And I know that I've very definitely got favourite colours that I like to use. So, right, okay. So I'm going to try and find like a nice pale yellow. Maybe that will work. That'll do. And if I pull it over my collage paper, my image that I've popped on, it should be fine. So this is a laser print that I've got here. If you don't have a laser printer, which I realise a lot of you won't have, then you can still use printed images that you've done on an inkjet, but you will just need to seal them first. Or you have to just be very quick when you're adding wet media over the top, so you don't pull the inks, reactivate the inks and start to sort of pull them around the page. I'm just going in with these kind of neutral tones at the minute. Make sure I'm on camera. Yeah. I've had this box as well for years. I had it when I was in my teens and first sort of started getting into playing with paint and say playing with watercolours. I've never really been particularly gifted at watercolour painting, but I've always enjoyed it. So just sort of sitting and doing a bit of urban sketching when I was younger, or going out into the countryside and with my ink pens and some watercolours and just doing some little sketches of what I could see around me was something that I've always loved to do. Okay, so I kind of like how that's gone on. I'm just going to come and lift some bits of colour out. So by blotting your brush, you can then use it to just pick up some of the colours. Now, I have got some gel medium on this background, and it is in some places creating a bit of a resist, and I'm okay with that. That's absolutely fine, because that's just going to create another kind of interesting. Right, and then I think what I might do is just come in with some splatters. Who doesn't love a splatter? Some of these lovely colours. I might bring a little bit of orangey yellow in, like this kind of slightly warmer yellow here. Oh, I like that. That's nice. Let's just bring a little bit of that down here as well. That is bringing some of the warmth, I think, to my page. I'm going to give this a dry. Apparently I'm not, because it's not plugged in. Hilarious. It's not the first time I've done that. Now this bit down here has gone a little bit puddly, so I'm just going to lift some of that out, move that around a bit more. Okay, that's quite a nice start. I will want to darken her hair up in a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that just yet. My laser printer isn't behaving the best. I need to get onto the company and have a little moan at them, I think. I love the effect that you can get as it's drying. If you just go in and start to lift bits of colour out, you can create some really pretty patterns. Okay, so let me just dry that bit there. And then I might just pop a bit more glue under there actually. It's a very rainy day today here. So it was very funny. Somebody commented on one of my YouTube videos, like, why is your heat gun so quiet? So the microphone, believe it or not, that I'm using is noise cancelling. So it's supposed to cancel out background noise. And sometimes it's more effective than others. So that's why, if you're wondering why the microphone doesn't, the heat tool doesn't make any noise, that's why. It's not, you know, there's no black magic going on here. It's literally just that. Let me just tuck this wire out of the way. Didn't realise that was right. So I might just use my watercolours and just see if I can bring a bit more depth to her hair. Oh, I wondered where that brush had gone. Okay, so I've got this black here. It might not work because, of course, the laser print is a little bit resistant, but I might just be able to bring a bit more depth. I think that's a little bit better. You see how it's not quite going on in the same way as it is on the rest of the page. I am happy with that. I think that works a bit better. I just need to do this little bit here. Oh, goodness, that's dark. Right. So I think what I want to do now is think about making this feel kind of cozy. So, let me just put that piece of paper back in there. This is just a piece of palette paper that I just put in on the top of my watercolours to try and stop them transferring to my swatch sheet, but you know, it's not the end of the world if it does. So I think I might come in with some stenciling and some acrylic paint now. This is a stencil that I designed for Natalie May Scrapbooking, and It is called Chesterfield, funnily enough, which is where I live. Right, in the UK. So that's mustard, Dina Wakley mustard. And what I want to do is bring some stenciling over around here and up here. Just starting to introduce some more of those warm tones. That's nice. Ooh, throwing it around. I think Tangelo is going to work quite nicely because it is quite a nice warm colour. This is a stencil that has just kind of come out in for the class that I did for Nat in November. So this is quite a new one. I might just do some little rays reaching out like that with the dots as well. Yeah, kind of like that. Let's do some coming that way too. That's going to create that kind of feeling of movement. Yep, like. Okay. I can't tell you what that one's called because I don't know yet. Let's give this a try. This is raspberry. No, back in your bed. Come on, in your bed. You don't want to go out there, Lola. It's not nice. Stay there. Good girl. So I'm thinking just a little touch of that. Maybe let's create that kind of warm glow. I don't know. You don't always know till you try. Like I always say, it's just paper. It doesn't matter. This is meant to evoke a kind of cozy feeling, so and then I think because this is like a December challenge, I want to add some baubles to my page. So, and then I'm going to do some writing down here. So I'm thinking, do we do the baubles in collage paper? That might be quite nice. Let's find some nice warm tones that are going to work. Christmassy bauble. A little bit of purple, a little bit of pink. Yeah. Okay. Good girl, Lola. I know you wanted to go and say hello, but You won't want to go outside, it's not nice. It's raining. That's nice. So this is a Helix, yeah, circle maker. It's really useful. It's a useful tool. You can do different size circles using this. That's quite big. Don't know whether I want it that big. Anyway. I think that's going to be too big. Let's just make it a little bit smaller. I'm just going to cut these out. And then position them where I want them to be. And then I can kind of work out whether I've got the sizes right or not. No, missed. There we go. Right, so we can get these stuck in place. Yep, that works. I think that one needs to be a little bit smaller actually, it's too big. Feels enormous. It's bigger than her head. Yeah, that's a bit better. So this is the Dina Wakley Media Glue. I'm going to make these into baubles. Just get them all stuck in place first. Down a bit. I want them all at kind of different heights, and that's just going to create that kind of interest and flow going across my page. Maybe that one needs to be a bit smaller too. It's too big. Not the easiest to do once you've put glue on it, but you know, that's all right. I'll make it work. That's fine. Okay. Right. So if you're interested in how I made those collage papers, that is one of the lives that I did with my art journal lovers, and you can find out about that by heading over to my website. That's a monthly subscription plan. It only costs $4.99 a month, and you get a lot of content. Monthly downloads, access to all the old lives, and there's loads of them. So many. Okay. So what I'm thinking now is we need a little, I don't know what it's called. No, not new. We need a little tab at the top of each bauble, like that, so that they can hang. From the ceiling. Let's give those a dry. Right, I'm just going to draw my little lines for these to hang down. If you're worried about doing the lines for something like this, just use a ruler. Generally don't, because I'm not that bothered. I don't need it to be that perfect. Right, so I want to try and make these have a little bit more depth, so I'm going to give them a shadow on one side and a little highlight on another. Really simple. I like those. Could also go in with some smaller ones, couldn't we? Let me grab. So this is a Tombow marker, and it's just a really nice grey, which is quite good for adding shadows. And what is also good about this is you can smoosh it with your finger and soften it like that. So you might go in with it and think, eeh, help. You can soon soften it off and it will work nicely. So I'm going to do a shadow on this side and light. In fact, this is going to be wrong, isn't it, with the image of the girl, but I'm not bothered. I should really have done my shadow that side and the light the other side. Never mind. I'm not going to worry about that, because do you know why? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The fact that there's light on her face, I don't care. If it bothers you that much, make sure that you do this the other way around. To me, if you're going to take inspiration from my page, I'll put this little girl's face on the website as a download for you for this first day, if that floats your boat. Sometimes it can be difficult with challenges, can't it, to find your inspiration and kind of know where you're going to start, and having an idea of where to begin can be helpful. So I'll do that, and then it's there if you want it. So to have access to that, if you're not an art journal lover, you will need to go and register with my website. It doesn't cost anything, it's completely free. And you can get access to all sorts. There's lots of free things on there. Okay, so my usual little tricks to just help things feel grounded are to go in with some stamping. Dots. I love dots and I love text. It's kind of how I roll. When I've done something like this with little images that I've added, I like to add a bit of text onto them as well, because I think it just helps them kind of feel like they belong a bit more. I love putting little hearts on my work. I know that I'm not alone doing that. Loads of artists do it. Heart is such a universal symbol, isn't it? perfect for this little page. I think this time of the year is a really good time to reflect and be really grateful for all the great things that we've got in our lives, even though sometimes they can be hard. It wouldn't kind of be life, would it, if it was always easy. But so I was just going to write on here warm and cozy. Not sure. Cozy corners tend to make me feel grateful, so let's just write feeling grateful on here, I think. Okay. I think maybe some white splatters to just finish this off. Does anybody else's fan brush like to hide? Mine does. Oh, it's there. It's hiding in plain sight. So a little tip when you're doing splatters is kind of make the paint the consistency of like milk, and then you'll find it'll splatter on much, much easier, and you won't end up with those great big globs of paint. Okay, so that's the first prompt. I'll post the next one in the same sort of way here on YouTube. You can share your work online. There are a couple of hashtags, and I cannot think what they are. They are hashtag December with Claire or hashtag Claire Creative December. And then I'll see them. I'd love to see what you create, what you do, if you want to join in. Okay, thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye. If you want to get your hands on the little download, just head to my website, www.artjournallove.com, and you can find it on there.